Hello, and thank you for tuning in and spending some time with me today. You are listening to The Financial Chick Show, and I am the Financial Chick. My name is Denise, the CEO and owner of Diversified Financial Solutions, a full-service, independent financial planning firm located in Medford. Your Financial Chick is here to help you make better financial decisions and choices to improve your life and reduce your anxiety and stress about money. If you want to know more about me or my firm, you can check out my website at financialchickshow.com. I'm also on Facebook and Instagram at Diversified Financial Solutions. So like those pages and see what's happening. If you missed a show or want to listen to a show already aired, you can go to the media tab on the website and listen to all prior shows, and the topics are there to kind of hone you in on the topics that are of an interest to you. So, I guess raise your hand. I know I can't see you, but who is absolutely exhausted? I'd have to raise my hand. My engineer Anthony just raised his hand too, so he and I are on the same page. Really, this is the time of year it really knocks you out. I mean, there's just way too much to think about. I'm typically a night owl, so the fact that I'm falling asleep on the couch by like 8, 9 o'clock really speaks volumes about what's happening right now. Like I said, there's so much to think about and so much to do at this time of year. It just takes a whole lot out of you. I did take some time on Saturday, however, to get a massage to decompress. Everyone really needs to take a step back, maybe take a walk, maybe a massage, maybe a pedicure, maybe just work on the truck or the car. If you're, whatever really kind of blows your hair back, you should do it. But to walk away from the craziness just to keep your insanity. But what's really funny about that massage, most likely I probably would not have done it, because I actually bought a gift certificate for myself as I was buying gifts for people. Last December, I bought one for myself because it was a good price. And the only freaking reason why I went was that it was expiring. So I made time for myself, which I'm kind of glad. So it was kind of happenstance that I went there, but I'm glad I did, because I probably wouldn't have did it otherwise. So again, another busy week. On Monday, my nonprofit women's organization, Power of Women Exchanging Resources, had an event at AR Workshop in Patchogue. We made a chunky blanket, and I have to say that I have very little to no skills in sewing or really just creative things. I'm the financial chick, so it's numbers and all that kind of stuff. But I have to say my blanket came out really good. Like it's so soft and warm, and honestly, it was really kind of therapeutic, because it really got me away from the whole financial stuff and Christmas cards and the shopping, all that kind of stuff. It kind of took a step away. Again, another way you can give yourself some sanity. So, and in addition, we love to support our women-owned small businesses. So a big shout out to Liz at AR Workshop in Patchogue on South Ocean Avenue. She is so sweet and so helpful. So if you want to do a personalized project like a blanket or a wood sign or anything like that, she's your girl. So check her out and check out her shop, AR Workshop. The busy week continued with a holiday luncheon with an organization that I'm on the board of, Society of Financial Service Professionals. That was on Tuesday. So that was kind of a nice thing to take a step away and to enjoy a holiday party. When you have a small office, there's really no holiday parties, although me and my staff do go out for lunch. Then on Wednesday, I had my annual compliance meeting. Part of being a financial advisor is to make sure that we're doing all the right things for all of you out there, and to see what's new and what's happening. Topics being, hacking and how to help our clients to not have that happen or happen to us. And just all different things. It was a whole bunch of topics. So that's an annual thing that we had on Wednesday. On Thursday, I was out of the office all day visiting clients in New Jersey. And this is all while training my new administrative assistant, Laura. So it's been certainly a crazy and busy week, but it's been a pretty productive one. So I'm pretty excited, and the vibe in the office is pretty exciting. Laura actually, and Brian, my staff, were in the office yesterday and apparently listening to Christmas music, and they decorated the entire office. So it looks really good. I'm going to take some video or some pictures this weekend, and I'll post that so you can see how nice the office is if you don't have a chance to come into the office. So today was also interesting. I had to bring my daughter and her girlfriend, who slept over last night, to the train station at 7 o'clock this morning. They had a field trip in New York City. She has been involved in the fashion program at her high school, And so this is what she was doing today. I just wanted to share this with you because it's just great to know. I talk to a lot of clients and they say, gosh, everybody talks about, all practical information that the kids don't learn about financial stuff and about careers. And I have to say, Patrick Medford really takes the lead in that arena. So this is the annual fashion field trip to New York City. So when they got to New York City, they walked to H&M for a tour, and that's a clothing store. And then they went to LIM College for a tour, and they were able to meet the college faculty, which is amazing. So these are students from 9th grade to senior year. So it's really a great eye-opening opportunity for these kids. Then they took a walk to Radio City Music Hall to take a backstage tour. Now, how many of us have done that? So what a very cool thing for kids to do, young adults to do, to have that opportunity. Then after the backstage tour, they were walking to Hard Rock Cafe in Times Square for lunch. And then after lunch, they were going to Macy's and Herald Square to do some shopping and to check out their fashions and all of that. So really hands-on teaching, which I think is great. And I'll have a big shout out to Mr. Smiloff. I do a lot of work with the high school. I have an intern actually starting on Monday, and to teach these are children or young adults that are looking to get into the financial field. So I bring them in my office and I teach them all about the career that I've selected in my life, and if it's something that they'd be interested in doing. And I'm going to be up at the school on Tuesday, and they have a lot of business community leaders go to the school, and we try to help them improve their programs. So they have an accounting program, they have a financial program, they have the fashion program, I think the sports marketing. So it's really neat, and it's really wonderful that they do all this, and we know that it's something that really needs to happen. So, kind of segueing into back to business. I mean, I've done a lot of non-business stuff this week, but there was a whole lot of business stuff that was in there. And honestly, I'm a bit tired because I've been working in the evenings, training during the day, and then, trying to catch up on my work in the evening. Not complaining, just saying it's all good. And being December, we're just trying to catch up on a lot of stuff at the end of the year. So in meeting with my clients and speaking with my clients on the phone, their biggest concern right now is how are my accounts doing and when is this market going to get better? I mean, let's face it, there's a lot of uncertainty right now. The market's been going up and down like crazy. We're hearing about the Fed meeting and inflation going up and your food costs. And, one, I guess, bright light, I always try to keep it on the positive, is that we did have the price of oil go down. So that's going to help a little bit to, help us when we fill up our car, but hopefully that will filter down and trickle down into the different products and services that we need, whether it be food or clothing, because again, that stuff's brought by trucks. I know, diesel fuels come down, but not quite as much as the regular fuel that we have in our vehicles and stuff like that. So in an article today that I read, according to Bloomberg, they're warning that 2023 may be a bit ugly, and that there's some bumpy times ahead, and it could be a rude awakening. Now, we've kind of been talking about this for a while, or the market's been very, very good for a very long time. I mean, we've had some dips, but overall, the market's been very positive. So with the Federal Reserve, and the warnings that the increases in the rates, there's some warnings that next year, the outlook for the U.S. economy and stocks is grim. Now, of course, stay with me because, opinions are like, everybody has them. So, we're looking at a, mild to hard recession, according to Jamie Dimon from JP Morgan Chase. And, we're really looking at the earnings of corporations. So there's been a lot of things that have been happening that are affecting our companies. So I'm going to cut that short for now. We're going to finish that after the break, but we're running into the break. But you are listening to the Financial Chick Show, and I am the Financial Chick, Denise Nostrom. The company's Diversified Financial Solutions. I help you look for financial solutions when you feel like there are none. So feel free to contact me at 631-758-8691 or at financialchickshow.com. So we're closing in on the break, but stay tuned. There's so much more. Yes, Anthony.
Yeah,
Poverty. No, we're not going to go in. It's not going to be poverty. It's about being strategic.
So I should sell drugs and do porn.
You're not going to sell drugs, Anthony. That's not a good plan B. There are other plan Bs, but that's not a good one.
I'm a good little.
We want to keep you out of the clink. You know what I mean?
I kid.
I know you are. So, yes, so here we are. I kind of got on a bit late tonight. It's been a crazy week, and I'm just running around like a lunatic, but I'm here to live to tell about it. But yeah, so thank you for tuning in. Like I said, I don't have my phone set up, so I have no idea who's on here. So whoever's on here, thank you for showing up. I'll see who is on here later. And yeah, so there'll be more stuff that hopefully I can unwind for you and make you feel a little bit more at peace with this crazy market and crazy economy that we have going on. And I've got 1 minute, so we're going to get back to this party.
What were you trying to tell me before?
What's that?
What were you trying to tell me before?
Oh, it sounded a little crackly in the beginning.
Oh, yeah, it's probably just the wires.
Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah. So, and you know, that was the thing. I was looking at my phone to like tell you I was here. I don't even know. Like, I have no idea where you. Oh, you okay? Now I have you. Okay.
Oh.
I couldn't. All right, it was you. I have a few Anthony's, and I was under duress.
Don't worry about it. It's okay. Don't worry. No worries.
Just like I was saying, Adele, go easy on me till I get through this crazy time.
Also, I had no idea you were live streaming. I would have not made a crack comment.
It's all right. My people are good. They don't care.
Let's hope so.
We're all good. Welcome back. This is Denise Nostrom, the Financial Chick. My company is in Medford, and you can reach me at 631-758-8691 or visit my website at financialchickshow.com. I am here to help you on your financial journey. Over the years, things change, and I'm here to help you navigate all those changes. And by gosh, do things change. It feels like things change really on the hourly basis or definitely daily, that's for sure. Complicated. So before the break, we were talking about the fact that Wall Street is, kind of saying that they're warning that 2023 might be a bit ugly. We've got everything, all the stage is set, that could certainly be the case. We have, we have inflation, we have things costing more. We have rates going up. We have the war in Ukraine. I mean, the wall of worry is there. There's a bunch of different things that are taking place. I don't think it's the end of it all. But just like anything, we're going to have the up and down years. But let's kind of unpack some of this stuff and let's try to make some sense out of the sanity. All right, so like I said, JP Morgan's is kind of have a grim view saying that we're going to have a mild to hard recession, and we don't think that the conditions, or he's saying the conditions are ready for a sustained upturn. They're not in place just yet. Even though we've had a tough market this year. I mean, the market hit a high on January 4th and just continued to go down. And we had a little bit of an uptick in August. But then when you got your statements on September 30th, that happened to be the worst day of the year. So that was embroiled in your head. And it was very interesting. I had 3 meetings yesterday, and everybody knew their number from September 30th. So when I showed them what their accounts were now, we were up about 7 or 8%, believe it or not, on an average. It could be some clients a little bit more depending on their invested. But just from September 30th to present moment, we were up, not double digit, but close to double digits. So things change quite quickly. So, what we've seen investors over the past 2 months that the S&P has fallen in the last 8 sessions. It's only been up 1 of those sessions. So there's red flags, in the wake of like wage and service data that's suggesting that inflationary forces still grip the economy, and that should continue into the new year. So one of the other things that's a big problem that we're hearing a lot of right now is the layoffs. That's part of the doom and gloom. On Tuesday, Morgan Stanley announced that they're going to reduce their global workforce by 2,000 ahead of the potential U.S. recession. So again, we don't really know that. I mean, honestly, I think we're in a recession right now, but they're media is still saying that we're not and that we're going to get into one. But most of these companies, they're doing things before we really know what happens. So that could be a good plan, could be a bad plan. Again, until it plays out, we're really not going to know. Bank of America's come out and said that they were slowing hiring. Tech companies have already been slashing their workforce. Now they got a whole different situation going on. Things like Twitter, Meta, which was of course Facebook, to Amazon, they're trimming their staff and slowing hiring because they're dealing with the higher interest rates and a pullback in consumer spending. So most tech companies or small companies, and not necessarily that these are small, but tech companies, they leverage or they borrow money to keep the ball rolling, whether it's to hire people or to buy products and services or for research and development, whatever it is, or marketing. So when interest rates go up, which they have, quite a big deal, from 0.25 up to 4% on the Fed funds target rate, which really determines what rates are, companies can't borrow at a cheap price. I mean, they've been able to borrow really cheap money for like the longest time. So that's not happening anymore. So the companies are feeling that pinch. But then on the other side, I always go the good, the bad. Well, we won't do any ugly today, but that was the bad. The good is that Charles Schwab is saying that they think the economy will improve in the latter part of next year. And, that there's growing evidence that, after inflation starts easing and the labor market cools off, that will fuel some market optimism. In my humble opinion, I believe that's really what we're going to see. We're going into the new year, and a lot of the stuff is going to kind of get unpacked. The Fed is hopefully, stops increasing rates. And, we have a pause in that. As soon as we know, the problem is it's uncertainty. When think of it in your own life. When there's things uncertain, you feel anxiety and you feel stress. But when you kind of you feel like you have a good handle on things, you can accept things a little bit more. Right now, the Fed's not really saying a lot. They're going to meet next week. Most likely, they're going to increase rates. Maybe we'll get some guidance as to what they're going to do. But when we don't know what's going on, again, you feel fear, you feel anxiety. So once we get some answers there, we'll be in better shape. The Ukraine war could end. An incident like that could basically change everything and make the market do well. So all of these different things, it's just sticking with the program and just letting things play out, but being proactive instead of reactive. I'm meeting with clients right now. We're making some adjustments in the portfolio. The thing is that we have a weaker economy, a weaker labor, but the thing is that we've got to get through the bad stuff to get to the good stuff. So let's take a look at some other things. So while the American economy, while stronger than most other developed countries, we talk about we're going to appear to going toward a recession, and that with the high inflation and rising interest rates. But the thing to remember is that recessions are inevitable, and why they happen is that they clear out the market excesses and they set the stage for future growth. We just went through this pandemic where everything was turned upside down. Everybody was so excited about the sexy stuff. They were looking at Facebook, Apple, Amazon, Netflix, Google, like they couldn't get enough of that. And they really forgot about the basics of investing and looking at companies that are stable and have a track record. I know I've talked about this, but cryptocurrency, like, whoa, that's great, let's do that. If you got in at the height, you're down 80%. It's just, you really just need to focus in on what your goals are and then make sure that you're taking right steps. And that's why you work with a financial advisor. I mean, you do your own thing, you're working, you're taking care of the kids, maybe taking care of parents. You don't have time to be on the pulse of the market. So work with somebody who does this, day in and day out to help you take one thing off your plate. And that's something that we say if you go to my website. We take things off the plate so you can do the things that you enjoy in your life. So there are 5 investment themes that to consider for the new year. So let's quickly run through these. Stocks will likely turn positive before the economy. So the economy could get worse, but the market could definitely get better before that happens. And that's typically how it plays out. So take the emotion out of it. Don't be like, I got to get out of the market. That's usually not a good way to do it. Don't invest on emotion, invest on facts and figures. Dividends matter again. I just alluded to that. People are so excited. Oh, the growth, of Tesla or Facebook or real pure growth stocks that don't pay a dividend. Get back to the companies that do. Companies like Con Edison, companies like your oil companies or Procter & Gamble, blue chip they matter again. And you know what? That's something that you can hang your hat on. Even if the market is volatile, you're going to be getting that dividend. Number 3, look for new market leadership to emerge. This is always something that happens when the market is bad. Innovation takes over. So that's going to be a big thing that's going to be in play. Number 4, growth investing may depend on earnings. So growth investing really took control. There's growth and value. Growth has been it has been the leader. Value really hasn't. It's been underperforming. But growth will still be something you want part of your portfolio, but it depends on the earnings. So really select companies that are going to do well and have a good balance sheet. Very, very important. And finally, prepare for a potential industrial renaissance. Now that sounds so exciting, but I'll give you one quote here that was really kind of interesting. That in 2030, they estimated that over 1 billion people worldwide will suffer from obesity, which is linked to cardiovascular disease. I'm running out of time, so I'm speeding now. Diabetes and kidney failure. So companies like Eli Lilly are investing heavily in those therapies to now innovate and to help people to help themselves, that to overcome these various things that are happening. So what I'm trying to say is it's not the end, it's only the beginning, but it's important to meet with me or your advisor to make sure. The thing is that you don't have time. You really need to have somebody that's going to help you break through that and give you the peace that you need to kind of not worry about your money. You have a whole lot more to worry about. So remember, let's do better, be better. Have a fantastic weekend, and don't do too much with the shopping and everything. I'm looking forward to doing some relaxing. But you've been listening to the Financial Chick Show. I will see you next Friday. Enjoy your weekend. Whew. So yeah, it's always like a half-hour show, and some days I feel like I don't have enough material, and some days I just feel like I have too much material. But little race at the end there. But thank you again for tuning in. I look forward to being with you again next Friday. Take care. Enjoy the weekend.